When we're looking at arch pipes, you're going to have three radius values. So we have this RB, which is pointing to the bottom radius, and then we have RT, which is pointing to the top radius, and then we have RC, which is going to be for both of the corners. We're also going to have a bottom distance, which is this B dimension, going up to here, and then you have your span and your rise. So I'll take everything I have in this table that I need, which is going to be my size, and then my radius values, my bottom distance, as well as my rise and my span. And then I'm going to input that into this table here. So notice in my label column I've included not only the rise and span, but also the equivalent diameter. And sometimes that's helpful for a designer to be able to see in that drop-down list. So as you go and you create a new catalog and you pick your size, just be mindful of what size you choose, and then carefully review what parameters you're going to need to track down in your reference material. Here I have an example of box concrete, and notice I have it separated from the LRFD sizes. So if you do something like this, you are going to want to have two separate feature definitions that have these catalogs fed into them. Now I want to go into an example of how we can retrieve a catalog from an existing catalog. So maybe I don't have any agency standards for a HDPE pipe. So I can go down here and I can import from a library. And then I can choose from any of these libraries that I have loaded. So if we want to bring in additional libraries, we can go up here and say existing. And then we can go and choose the XML file to load into this list, and then go and pick what you're looking for. So I'll do PVC as an example, and go ahead and bring that in. And then from there we can right click and rename that. And then you could modify this if you need to, like for instance in my other tables I'm using IN and FT. So if I want to be consistent, I might choose to use Excel to quickly go in and change this. So to do so, I would just go around and copy this with Control C, and then in a blank workbook I'll just paste that back in, and then do a find and replace where I'm going to be replacing inch with in. And then I'm going to copy these cells and paste them back into this table. And lastly, I want to show how you can export your Conduit library out to an XML file. So to do that, I'm going to go up to the library book and say export to library. And then up here at the top, I'm going to say I want to create a library. And then I'll give it a name. So I'll just call this DOT Conduit Catalog. And keep track of where it's saving this so you can go and find that XML later. Okay, so now we've created that catalog. And now I'm going to go and select the catalogs that I want to export, and then I'll choose that DOT Conduit Catalog and say select, and that's going to export all of my Conduit catalogs to that XML file.